Man, I'm 51 years old, my love, and I've been in this game a long time, and I want to show artists that as long as you're in control of your intellectual property, as long as you know what you're doing, you can kind of just do what you want. You know, now the game has changed where, labels, you don't need a label to be successful, but a label definitely needs artists, but you don't need a label.
Today we have Don Dinero with us on the Zoo. He has been in the game since the 90s, just released a new single called The Plug in Cuba. So let's go ahead and just, jump right into it. Introduce yourself. I'm now super familiar with your music. I just watched your short film. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your new music.
Well, I've been in, I was the first Latin rapper to ever basically break the whole mainstream. And in 2002, I dropped an album called Que Volá, when it was all Spanish language rap. And, I kind of changed the game. I made it into radio, top 20 Billboard, even though I charted in tropical because they didn't have specific urban charts for me. I was able to break down the doors and the barriers to Latin hip hop and to say, hey, when the people went to the stores and I sold and I went double platinum and I sold a ton of records, that's kind of when the industry said, hey, wait a second, there's something here. And then they went out to Puerto Rico and started grabbing reggaeton artists who was spitting Spanish rap, but under the production was different. It was reggaeton. And from Tego, all those guys, they were there. When I was at my top, they were there. My first album, I helped one artist. I had 15 songs, 14 were in Spanish. And then the one English record was featuring a kid named Pitbull, who's an international star. So kind of like Benny Bermuda. So the segue to Benny Bermuda is 9 times out of 10, I'm doing singles or projects with artists that people say, who's that? Because I try to always give the independent artists an opportunity.
So I love that you also created a visual story with your song too. That's something that I think artists aren't really doing too much. Like music videos, I feel like are kind of...
They don't have... I'm an independent artist. I put my own money, I put my own skin in the game. It took me 4 days to shoot that video. I had a vision. The song was too short. It was 2 minutes and 39 seconds. So what I wanted to do is kind of create a movie or a small short film kind of integrating what the video was about. And I think we did it well. And I think it's going to influence other artists to do it. But the problem is that most labels, I kind of directed that with my director who's been with me 10 years. I think it would have to be kind of an artist who's really in control of his music to be able to do that kind of stuff and say, hey, I want to do this. Because most videos are, when you see the short video, it's a little bit different, but I think I wanted to do something different and I accomplished that.
That's true too. I feel like right now also is like we're starting to kind of hear about the struggle that a lot of artists have with like owning their masters. We have Kanye West talking about it. We have Taylor Swift re-recording all of hers because it just got sold for $300 million. So I think it's, important, like what you're saying, the idea of also just to let young artists know that it is really important to have that independence.
Two words I'm going to leave you with that's so important. Intellectual property. That's why a label signs you. A label signs you to own your intellectual property. And that's what they did to Kanye West. When you say you don't own your masters, well, why? Because I took the check, right? I took the check and I gave them the control of my intellectual property. And I think the game was kind of made to rape and pillage the artist, to keep them as ignorant as possible. So the artist has a manager who has a lawyer, who has a situation with a label. And think about the Taylor Swift deal, think about the Kanye deal, all those deals that they gave away their masters. They had lawyers that told them, it's okay, sign that, you're gonna be a star, go. So we need to start holding some of these lawyers accountable for these terrible deals that they're okaying, knowing they're terrible deals just because they wanna be in bed with the major labels, right? So I think, you need to understand that too, because how are you my lawyer and you're saying it's okay to give away, you should, you know what I'm saying? So, it's a dirty game and it's kind of, if you're an artist, I've been in the game over 20 years and this is my 11th album I'm going to drop, which drops January 6th. The single's published in Cuba. The second single drops December 17th. It's a tribute to Saint Lazarus, who's a huge saint in our culture as Cubans. And the song's called Babaluaye, which is the Yoruban African way of naming Saint Lazarus. And then on January 6th, which is El Dia de los Reyes, which is kind of our, as Latinos worldwide, that's kind of like our Christmas, I'm dropping Cuban Connection, the album.
Amazing. Well, congratulations for all this stuff also you have just ready to go. And that was something I noticed too in your music. I was like, yeah, this guy has like some type of spirituality again, or like that he vibes with. Like you see your praying, it's cool that you're like shouting out these saints that are really important to your culture.
And, you know, I've been, you know, I'm 51 years old, my love, and I've been in this game a long time, and I want to show artists that as long as you're in control of your intellectual property, as long as you know what you're doing, you can kind of just do what you want. You know, now the game has changed where, you know, labels, you don't need a label to be successful, but a label definitely needs artists, but you don't need a label. There's 22 million independent artists in the United States. Yeah. Less than 1% will sign a major record deal. So what do you do with the other 20 million artists that have a dream? You tell me, give it up? And
they're talented, yeah. So let's go.
You know, these are the challenges that independent artists have.
No, definitely. And I mean, it's also is important to just have people like you that are able to talk to them and, you know, kind of punch the brakes. Like, I know this looks really great and they're dangling something shiny over you, but like, take it from me.
The past 4 years, I went on tour with a good friend of mine, and I call him my mentor, Chris Gotti. And we went on tour with Adventure Music, and I did 150 cities educating and empowering the independent artists. And
that's amazing.
Showing them those words of intellectual property. When a contract says in perpetuity means forever.
Yeah.
Right? And they kind of code these words so you don't understand them. So you need a lawyer to understand them. And it's incredibly confusing. So we kind of went out on the road and did our best to educate and empower as many independent artists. We touched them, we felt them, we kind of gave them what was going on. And this is way before now. You have DistroKid and United Masses. There are a ton of platforms now that have distribution. When I came in, I had to spend almost $2 million to get distribution.
Well, I think that's amazing, the stuff that you're doing, though, because a lot of artists, they won't do that. They, you know, once they get there, they'll just keep riding that wave. It's like, well, I did it. You guys have to figure it out. So that's amazing.
You have to understand. If you notice the ones who are killing the game, they see a vision, and nothing stops them. And the mom says, "Why don't you get a real job?" And and you know, your parents will put their fears on you. You know, I have 4 kids and 3 grandkids, and none of us want our kids to go through anything. But you know, if you don't take risks, if you don't struggle, you're not even living. You're playing it safe is for the birds. I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, you know,
well, I appreciate your words, because I'm also following a dream too. So I appreciate it. Everything you're saying resonates to me. So so we have to wrap this up, but I want to at least give you a little, like 30 seconds to a minute to just really, I mean, like I said, you've been inspiring so much, but just the final words, take the floor. Again,
I think that if you have, you know, this is the formula. If you're a good person and you're talented and you don't give up, you're absolutely going to make it. If you're a person and you have talent and you don't get up, you're going to make it, but you're not going to last long. If you're a person and you have no talent, you're definitely not going anywhere. So at the end of the day, pick a dream, any dream, and just go for it. Do not spend your entire life looking at that line saying what could be. You know, the greatest ideas on this planet, they're all in cemeteries. And the irony is ideas are free. You don't have to pay for them. So the most creative person with the greatest idea can change their lives and the lives of others. So pick a dream, pick an idea, and go for it. And then life turns into an incredible journey. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for that. And I'm excited to see our segment on LATV, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you. For my people in LA, I love you guys. Pa'lante, and I para el elefante. Bye.